Well, good evening. Or is it good morning, good afternoon, good day, and maybe to some of you, good afternoon and good night. But wherever you are, welcome. Welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. I am Joy Ruffin, and the work that I do is as a leadership and style consultant, a signature style specialist, a personal development strategist, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. I know it's a lot, but it's all connected. It's all aligned. And you are here or will be here for the replay because every week I bring to you a featured guest speaker. And tonight, I do get excited, don't I? Well, I get excited because I bring to you great guest speakers and all that will benefit you on your journey, no matter what level you're at. So remember that the work that I do is for you. I'm all about the divine femininity and the divine masculine, only I'm working with the feminine. And there's a reason for that. But that's for another time and another discussion. But I want you to keep that in the back of your noodle, your hat, your brain. But tonight, I want you just to hear a little bit about my featured guest speaker. This is Dr. I love her name, Dr. Nancy Zare. I think I pronounced it right. I know I did because she corrected me. I'm not very good with pronunciations, but I love meeting and greeting and making new connections. Now, Nancy is a visionary. There's no question about it. And she's the founder of Rapport Builders. She's also the creator of the groundbreaking Alikeability System. She empowers professional entrepreneurial people and corporate to transform 50% of their prospects into loyal clients. Now, who out here working anywhere, online or in corporate, does not want to know how to do that with certainty and success? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. She has every kind of degree that you can name. I don't go into that. I'm grateful and appreciative of it. But I want you to meet and to greet her because I want you just to sit back and relax and know that all of this information that we're going to be sharing with you tonight is very potent, very powerful, and will benefit you no matter where you are on your journey of success, no matter what it might be. So my friends, you know what I'm going to say. I say it all the time. Sit back, relax, and gather to you whatever makes you comfortable. A glass of wine, a cocktail, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. How about even a glass of water? Curl up somewhere and tune in and help me welcome tonight our featured guest speaker, Dr. Nancy Zare. Dr. Nancy.
Oh, Joy, it is joyful to be with you.
Oh, bless your heart. We have high energy here tonight, and I love it. Nancy, your background excites and intrigues me, and it's inspirational for me because even though I've been doing this for quite a while, I'm just beginning to get wings. So everything that you're talking about, how to turn prospects into clients and master the approach, let's talk about that a little bit. There's so much about your background, but people will get to know you and find out. Let's start off about what you came to me with, which I kind of know, but I want to hear from you. What are the 4 different personality styles?
So that is the secret, Joy, for converting and turning the prospect into clients, is knowing what the personality style is. And there are over 200 personality systems out there. Probably people have heard of DISC. There are animals, there are colors, there are words. After 35 years of research, which I didn't do entirely, a colleague did, we discovered that there's a certain amount of context needed before people can make up their mind. And so we gave them numbers based upon how many contacts. And the numbers are 2, 4, 6, and 8. So we call them buyers 2, buyers 4, buyers 6, and buyers 8.
This is fascinating because you broach that in just the right way, because most all of us, it's never all, right, Nancy, have heard about all these different personality styles and the different flavors and flow and so on. But I never heard of the 2, 4, 6, 8. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I am mesmerized and fascinated by it because I never heard of it before. And I'm an ongoing student of life and learning. So,
well, this is I founded the Alikeability System, and the Alikeability System, that's like with an A in front of it. It's not about popularity. It's about being alike your prospect. Because when people feel that you get me, we're alike, they relax. The comfort, the trust builds. The sales resistance goes away. And that opens the door to doing business together. And we did this research primarily through telemarketing, in which we were, again, taking a look at the 4 personality styles and noting how many contacts were needed before someone could make a decision. That didn't mean they said yes. It's make a decision. And we gave them the numbers, and we've adjusted it for the digital era. Because as you know, Joy, nowadays people don't always talk on the phone or see each other in person or even have a video conference like what we're doing. And hence there's a time delay between you're giving out a message and receiving it and sending it back and so forth. And so the conversation is choppy and interrupted. Hence it needs more context. Does this make sense?
Makes a lot of sense, Nancy. And you are zeroing in on a handsome, absolutely brilliant person that I'm working with now who always says, most of us have come into this universal way of thinking about know, like, and trust. He said, no, it's like, trust, know, or vice versa, however it goes. But it starts off with like. So you're speaking to that dynamite knowing within, liking first. So, and I did mention that you started off with the likability, but how did you come to this? I mean, that can be very involved, I'm sure, but that's you took all of this data, all of this information, and came up with the 2, 4, 6, and 8. This get to know me. How did you come up with that after all of this programming and putting all of this together?
What a great question. And it turns out that the Alikeability System is something that has evolved over time. I'm sure you know as an entrepreneur that you give birth to a baby, right? Your business.
Yes.
And, and I think most of the women out there, if you've been a parent and given birth or adopted a child, then oh, and by the way, even pets, they turn out to have their own personality, regardless of what you think or want, right?
Yes.
And so you find yourself, if it's a young child or if it's a pet, sometimes you're doing the adjusting. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you adjust yourself to be alike your prospect. And by adjustment, I'm talking about communication, using the words and phrases that resonate and talk to their values. That's when the person relaxes and says, wow, you get me, we're alike. And that's how and of course it's an ability, it's a skill. You can learn it. I teach it. It's a skill to make someone say to themselves, you get me, we're alike.
And we have all heard, Nancy, know, like, and trust, but like, know, and trust, however you want to verbalize it. But when you said that, you get me, well, don't we all want that? But here's what's difficult for most of us. It was for me up until the point, and I'm just beginning to segue now. When your energy is so high and so vibrant and so all out there and exploring, and you meet somebody who's exact opposite, bring it down.
Exactly. You're so correct in doing that. And, many of us, especially if we're relatively new in doing our own business, we're unaware of some of the cues. We notice something's off, but we're not sure how to adjust. And as you said, Joy, when your energy is huge and it's vibrant, you've got to rein it in for the person who is quieter, more reserved, more thoughtful. Otherwise, you'll blow them out of the water. They won't want to have anything to do with you. And of course, you won't have a successful communication. And I'm all about communicating authentically, heart to heart. And that happens when you use the value words of your prospect.
You know what you just said, though, all of it, but that heart to heart. And then don't we all want to be related to and connected to where we feel a kinship?
Yeah.
We feel that likability. And the values that we have, sometimes the morale, well, it's all kind of connected. You want there to be a likability, a kinship there. So that leads into what you gave me, which I love. And I know this is something I'm just getting to. People don't buy what it is that you're promoting until they find out They buy for their reasons, not yours, how it connects and relates to whatever product or service you are promoting. So, how do we get, I think you spoke to it, but expound on it a wee bit more. How do we get all of us, myself included, to get people and listen and tune in to them and get to know them and their values and how we can connect so that they're buying whatever it is that you're promoting for their reasons, not yours?
So I'm going to go back to the Alikeability System. There are 5 steps. And of course, I can't go into depth, but I can tell you what that sequence is.
Yes.
And step number 1 is understanding that there really are 4 different personality styles. They probably correspond to the 4 quadrants of the brain. And we are a mixture, a combination of all of them. But 30% of us, we have one quadrant that's dominant, one style that's dominant. The other 70%, 2 or more of our styles we shift between. So socially, we could be that person who's very outgoing and vibrant and joyous. And then when it comes to a business decision, we get more thoughtful and more reserved, and we become more structured. We need a proposal. We want to see the details. We read the fine print. So notice how we've shifted and changed. And this is what I teach, is to recognize that. So step 1, 4 styles. Step 2, what's your style? Why? Because we tend to sell the way we buy. So if you're that person who is an information junkie and that's how you made a buying decision, you tend to project that onto the other person. But remember, there are 4 styles, 4 different ways people are processing and thinking about something and valuing your position, your product or service.
Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. I think I heard that somewhere before. Maybe the First Lady, Nancy. Ronald Reagan. I'm going back there because that was Nancy too. But what you said, all of it. But here's what stuck for me. Everybody knows that one of my favorite expressions, it marinated to the marrow of my bones. People sell the way we buy.
Yeah.
Now that's very, very powerful. So here's a question that leads, I have the answer, I think I know, but I want to hear from you. Is that why some people are just extremely successful in selling and promoting because they can tailor their persona, personality? Yes, yes, yes.
You get a gold star, okay, because bingo, you got it. And this is exactly what I share with my clients. And listener, as you're thinking about it, the most important thing you can take away is that you need to adjust and shift your speech, your approach to match the other person's style. It's based on what I call the platinum rule. Now, I didn't invent the platinum rule.
I like that.
And most of us know the golden rule, which is treat others the way I want to be treated. The platinum rule is treat others the way they want to be treated.
Want to be treated.
Yes. And think about this, Joy. We're women. Many of us cook. I would love to entertain you at my home and make a home cooked dinner for you, homemade dinner. But if I don't ask you about whether you have food allergies or whether you are gluten intolerant or lactose, whatever, if I don't get that information and I serve what I like and it's a wonderful meal, but you can't eat it, I've done you a disservice. And that's what sales is about. We're not giving people what we want to eat. We're serving our best meal. What they want to eat, what they want to consume. And how do you figure that out? Yeah, listen.
Nancy, the profundity of that, oh my goodness. I think this is much of what we know, but somehow for different reasons, we put it on the back burner. Because this leads into something else you gave me, which ties into exactly what you just said. People need a certain number of contacts or touch points before they decide. They want to know that you know them, that you like them, that you understand them.
Yes, absolutely. You're so right. There's nothing sweeter in the English language than your first name. And it begins that way. And so many of us, unfortunately, say to ourselves, oh, I can't remember names, or I'm horrible with names. I remember a face, but never. Guess what? You're doing yourself a disservice. Start telling yourself, I am excellent remembering names. I mean, Joy only told you once how to pronounce my last name, and you did it. And you know how that warms the cockles of my heart? Think about it. When you're in the mall or you're somewhere out in the public and you hear your first name, you may not know who's calling it, but you immediately turn around to look because that's the sweetest word in your language. And that's why we need to speak the language of our prospects to get their attention, to let them know we honor and respect them and we care about them. All of that is said by not only using their name, but talking their values, speaking their values. And each of these numbers, 2, 4, 6, and 8, come with values. So if I may for a moment, think about it. The number 2 takes only 1 or 2 contacts to make a decision versus the 8 that takes 8, turn it on its side, it's infinity. It takes 8 or more contacts. Obviously, one's fast, the other one's slow. Guess what? You're going to have to adjust. And that's what we're talking about. That slight little adjustment. And you talked about it earlier, Joy. Just maybe reining in the energy for somebody who is a little bit more reserved. That little bit of respect is exactly what's going to allow that person to connect authentically with you and be able to do business with you.
Nancy, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And I have a question for you in regards to what you just spoke about, but I'm going to take a quick little reset here. My engineer is going to put you in the green room, but listen, I'm like the little kid back off to school. I am loving this because I'm learning a lot. Some of it, which you kind of know, but it's time to have it sit in and get in the depths of you. This conversation, guys, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am because it is potent and powerful. By the way, if you're not a member of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, well, again, I say, why not? You belong here. Nancy's a member. Dr. Nancy is a member. And you need to be here because your vision, your mission, and your purpose is major. It's important. We're all about the divine feminine. We're all about growing and stepping into your empowered position because you have it. I don't care what position you have, what size, age, range, culture. None of that matters. It's time for us to awaken to the innate power that's full of heart to heart and God love. That's important to know. And that said, you hear me say all the time, know thyself, get to know who you are at your core, which is what Nancy's sharing with us tonight, because only then are you going to be able to identify who you are so that when you meet other people contingent upon where they are, you can connect to them. You are a beautiful puzzle. We all are. And you are your own ambassador. So you are here to get to know every bit about you. And we're going to put up Dr. Nancy Zare's card for just a moment so you can take a screenshot. You take a snapshot, whichever works for you, because she's offering a LinkedIn personality profile audit, which will be absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you take advantage of that. And we'll talk a wee bit more about that towards the end. But Nancy, when you come back, you said something here that as we were leaving, you can identify people's personality style by noticing how they dress. Now, my work is as a signature style specialist, a consultant. I work with women who really want to know how to amp up their appearance, their image, and step out into the true essence of who they are, anywhere, everywhere, all the time. So what can you tell us about identifying the style and how you should approach them by how a person dresses? And by the way, before you even answer that, Nancy, by the way, I love hats. So when I first met you and you had on a different color and I said, this woman I have to get to know more about. So tell us before you even answer that question, I'll redress it again. Why did you and why are hats so major for you? I think I might have the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
There's actually a short and a long answer to this. And the short answer is that entrepreneurs wear many hats. And unfortunately, for most of them, marketing and sales, it's not their favorite hat. Guilty. And so that's the short answer. The long answer is actually I'm 5 foot and I speak in front of audiences as you do, Joy. Yes. And in order to have some height and visibility, because I like to walk in the audience, this hat is, gives me more height and it's a big block of color so that people can identify me. I have 4 different colored hats to represent the 4 personality styles. And I actually will switch the hats while I'm talking about a particular style in
Oh,
order to help people get a better image of what I'm saying.
I didn't know that. So this is, listen, we can't go any further. I want to know the four different colors and how they relate to the numbers.
The number 2 is red. They're on fire, right? They're quick to act. It only takes 1 or 2 contacts, so off they go. The number 4 is gold. They have hearts of gold. They give of themselves. It's all about connecting heart to heart, authentically, relationships. The number 6 is blue. They're true blue. Once they make a decision, and it does take a little while for them to vet you and figure out that they want to hire you or work with you, they are brand loyal and they are true blue and stick with you. And then because I ran out of colors, green. Green is number 8. And we could think of it as, the fact that they are maybe excel in the Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of a green, green and white. So that's the color.
That's
Now,
fascinating. But I thought, I love this, Nancy, but I thought the 8 was gold and green. What's
no,
4?
no. Gold is 4 and green is 8.
Oh, okay. It's the reverse of that. Okay, that's how this is fascinating. I love it. I love it. It ties into so much because I'm also a color analysis and I love color, and color means a lot. But let's speak back to what I said about identifying people by their dress style and how you can. Let's combine it all together.
Yeah,
How you turn them into to prospects, to clients by matching their style. Now we've already spoke to that, but expound on it a wee bit more.
You're going to love this. And if I may, I'm going to use the colors because colors also are associated with the different colors, only not the hats now. Okay. So audience, put that out of mind for right now. And instead think of the colors that somebody's wearing.
Yes.
The bright, bold, highly saturated colors are your number 2 buyer because they're peacocks. They want to show off. And by the way, if they wear all black or all white, they have a statement piece. Jewelry, a hair, something about their hair. They have usually a lot of makeup because they want to be seen and they want you to notice them.
Right away.
Yeah. The number 4 is your crunchy granola. This is your earth tones and your pastels. They enjoy color, but they're more muted. They don't want to be that flash in the pan that our number 2 buyer is like. Yeah. The number 6 is very conservative, and hence they wear very classic colors, like the navy blue jacket with a white or a pastel blouse or something of that sort. So they're very conservative in their color. Now, the number 8 is indifferent to fashion. And so knowing that they don't really care what they wear, they kind of imitate the number 8, the number 6. But here's the big difference, Joy. They don't have the same polish and the same hygiene. Well, hygiene's the wrong word. But in other words, they don't have creases in their trousers. They don't iron their shirt or blouse because why do that? It only is going to get wrinkled again. So I mean, I hate to say that, but they wear things that are out of date because they're practical and it's still, it's still there. I can get more wear out of it. And so there's something a little off, and that's because they really are not fashion forward.
Ah, that's fascinating. And I'm assuming, which is always deadly, but I do it. We all do. I'm not judgmental, but I do I'm thinking maybe sometimes, maybe intellectual, maybe overly. I don't know. It's more in the books. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But here's something that while you were talking, I thought about this, because when it comes to the 4 different styles, the 2, 4, 6, and 8, Nancy, what I'm thinking is, what about your combinations? Because most people, I would bet you, are one prominent, like, and others are second, third, and fourth, depending on the percentage. I already kind of know because I know my colors. So, and it lines with what you're talking about. So how would you speak to that?
It goes back to what I said earlier. About 30% of people are just one style, but 70% have 2 styles or more. And the majority, something like 60% of that 70. Okay, so the majority, actually it's 2 styles. And there's a social style, and then there's a business style. And the
Ah,
social style is what greets you and talks to you and is friendly or maybe shy, depends. But the business style is different. And how can you tell that somebody has shifted to another style?
yes.
Vocal qualities.
Ooh.
They change how they talk. So instead of being that fast, high geared, excited, enthusiastic person, they slow down, take a breath, notice my voice has gotten even softer.
Mm-hmm.
Those shifts, which most of us don't really pay attention to, indicates the person has changed style.
I love that. I do. It makes so much sense. The time goes here so quickly, and you and I could go on and on and on because I love what you're doing. And I love the work that you're doing because I think we all, no matter how expert, influence, professional, and all the other adjectives that you can use in that realm we need more of what you're doing. And I did mention this in your bio, in your opening, but I love your title, The LinkedIn Whisperer, the Whisperer, the Whisperer.
Yeah. May I say some quickly about that?
You
Because
can
a
say yes.
client gave me that name. I did not choose it. And then another client gave me the name, the Sales Whisperer, because she said you're bigger and better than just LinkedIn Whisperer. Why a whisperer? It isn't about a soft voice, but as you know, whisperers, when applied to the horse whisperer or dog
Yes,
whisperer,
yes, yes, yes.
who can communicate with nonverbal animals, right? Well,
Yes.
I teach you how to communicate with a LinkedIn profile or a website. And by communicate, I mean view it and identify someone's style, 2, 4, 6, or 8, so that before you even meet them, you know who is it likely I'm going to be talking with. Is it a high energy person or a more moderate or even low energy person? And hence you can walk into that first meeting, whether it's, on a conference call or in person. And by the way, if you scan a room in person, notice what they're wearing and you'll know, do we have a lively one here or is it someone more reserved? And as a result, you'll have a better sense of becoming a likable because you're treating them the way they want to be treated.
And that word likable is so prevalent, especially today with technology, Nancy, because most of us are working, no matter what realm it might be, in the box. And you're meeting, conversing with people here, and you don't get to see the body language and all the other things that are going on, but you can hear the voice and the tonation and the delivery and the pacing and all of that you can pick up. But if you're not savvy, you can still get the vibe, you can get the feeling. So I get that. This is the work that you're doing. Kudos to you. Now, I'm going to ask my engineer to put up your poster, and I want you to tell us a little bit about what you're offering. You've mentioned it, but tell us a little bit more. And I'm going to ask them to take a screenshot or a snapshot and tell us a little bit about what they're going to get in their complimentary audit with you.
So you're going to find out whether your personality profile on LinkedIn, whether it's reflecting the number 2, the number 4, the number 6, or the number 8 style. And
Mm-hmm.
if you know your ideal buyer, your ideal client, are you actually giving off that vibe to attract them? And that's what the audit's going to be about. I'm going to let you know what characteristics your profile is exuding so that you can decide, do I need to tweak it? And if so, in what direction? And again, it's complimentary. It doesn't take very long, maybe half an hour or so for us to go through this audit. And we start with your banner. We look at your photo, especially the headline, and we may even have time to do some about section or other parts.
Well, I'm going to be your client for sure because I am just tweaking now my LinkedIn because I was told that it needed it. And I'm not a techie, but I love this stuff. So I don't run away from it either. Nancy, the time flies here.
Yeah.
And I have absolutely learned a lot. I've had fun. And I want us to do this again and again and again. We'll find a way. In the meantime, my engineer is going to slide you away. Kudos to you and thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you on the next go
For your
round.
sales success.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness. Listen, I don't know what to say because I'm never speechless. So I can say this. Thank you for sharing time and space with us. It's always a pleasure. I have learned so much from Dr. Nancy Zare, and I hope that you will connect with her. I send you always much, much love from my heart to yours. Embrace it, embody it. It's genuine, it's real, it's true. Make this the best week ever and the best weekend to come and all the days to follow. Much, much love, my friends. So long for now. Cheers.